Are you overwhelmed with all the different options and choices there are for insurance leads? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you the only 4 lead type choices you need to consider when it comes to selling insurance. You see, there's a lot of different lead options out there. It's very frustrating, very overwhelming, and there is a need for focus and putting blinders on. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. So number 1, the best source of leads in many different markets, whether it's final expense, mortgage protection, Medicare, and many other programs out there, or products, is simply put, direct mail leads. Now, why direct mail? It's 2022 and beyond, Dave. Isn't everybody doing everything online? Who even goes to their mailbox or much less reads anything from it? Well, the bottom line is that yes, you're right, but for the markets that are attracted and will answer direct mail, it is a superior source of getting quality leads. You see, a lot of leads out there suck, let's face it. Probably you've worked some and wonder how this could even be construed as a lead. Direct mail is entirely different. You see, the process in selecting and calling interest in the product through direct mail is unique and separate from other sources of prospecting. Direct mail requires the recipient to walk to the mailbox, to get the mail out, to read it over the trash can typically, where they normally throw that stuff out. But this time something's different. They walk the thing back in, sit down, argue with their spouse if it's a scam or if they should send it in or not, and decide ultimately to do it. But they just don't send it in, they sign their name to it. They put their personal information back. All the while they could have thrown it away. And then they walk the thing back to the mailbox, throw it in, and commit. And this is what makes direct mail so great, is this natural engagement process that goes on prior to every time somebody decides to send in a piece of mail. Pretty much every other lead source out there doesn't require this. They're too simple in some cases for people to express interest. Direct mail, there's these kind of natural obstacles to getting the thing in the mail, which also increases the quality of the leads. So bottom line, in many of these markets out there, like what we talk about on this channel, what we sell at the Ford Insurance Group, we absolutely require on the quality that a direct mail provides to give agents the best opportunities for success. Now, again, what are the drawbacks? Because we're going to talk about that too in this video. There's always drawbacks to every kind of lead. With direct mail, the biggest drawback is cost. So the costs have escalated. We depend on the United States Postal Service to deliver these things. And guess what? Stamps go up. Inflation causes the component pricing of mail to go up. Fuel costs too. So there's an escalating, slowly albeit, pricing going upwards for direct mail. Also, with the interest higher than it has been in some segments, like mortgage protection, Medicare less so, but certainly final expense as well, there's a higher demand and order rate for direct mail, which if you think about the prospect situation, if they're going to only reply to 1 or 2 mails within that period of time their interest, and if there's 6 letters or 8 letters that come in, you know, beyond the 1 or 2 they respond to, the rest go to waste, which overall suppresses response rates for the entirety of the group being targeted. Bottom line, the issue with direct mail is just cost. But here's the thing to consider. The cost, again, is an impediment. You get what you pay for, as it turns out many times in the lead business. And while the costs are steep, that means there are less agents willing to take the leap in order to properly finance them, which means over time, you will find better quality leads in those direct mail sources of prospects as opposed to others, because it's less easy to access. So number 2 on the list here is live transfer leads. So what are live transfer leads? These are where essentially in a remote insurance sales situation, the leads call you. You're not doing outbound calls. You're not dialing away, cold calling, or working a bunch of outbound warm leads. These warm leads are calling you, expressing an interest in buying whatever insurance products that are out there. We see live transfers very, very much so in the Medicare space. Probably some of you have seen the Joe Namath commercial, other ones as well. All of these people are essentially doing endorsements for call centers to have call-ins for the reps to sell and close. And the nice thing about these is they're already calling in, expressing interest with whatever was talked about on the TV commercial. So again, benefits, you don't have to do the grind of doing outbound calls. You're only talking to people that want to actually talk about buying a policy. So close rates tend to be much higher than some of the other options available to a remote type agent. So what's the drawbacks though of live transfers? They're very expensive, many times more expensive than a direct mail lead, which again predominantly is for a face-to-face style agent, sometimes telesales. So the costs are high. And sometimes you get some bogus ones. Somebody's been drinking a few too many and they call in just looking for a joke to have a good time and then waste your time and your money. But a lot of these live transfers tend to have a buffer like the leads we have at DeFord Insurance Group for our telesales agents. We can get rid of those bogus leads quickly with our scripting, so you're not charged for those. But again, it kind of is very much like direct mail. They're a very good quality lead, but you're going to pay a very high price for it. Also, with many live transfers, you do need to have a multitude of states. You really can't just call yours. With many of the vendors that we offer our agents, we need a minimum of 15, which adds another $1,000 to $1,500 to your startup cost because you got to buy non-resident license in multiple states. Number 3 on the list here are digital leads. So digital leads would be anything that you would develop off the internet, chiefly on Facebook, although we're seeing some interest on developing leads on YouTube, as well as some on Google Ads. And the benefits of these leads, whether you sell face-to-face or remotely, is the cheapness relatively to other leads as far as costs go, and the speed at which they turn around. Many of the leads, direct mail, cost a lot of money and take weeks to turn around. Live transfers cost a big chunk of change, but digital leads tend to be conservatively priced. Again, for example, it's going to depend on the vendor that you're using as well as the particular product you're focusing on. But we have seen digital leads a third to a fourth of the price that you can get with direct mail or live transfer, which means you can buy more leads for the same price. And they tend to turn around pretty quickly in a matter of days, not a matter of weeks. What's the drawback to these leads? Bottom line, with digital leads, they tend to be lower quality. Think about what you do when you're on Facebook. You're not looking for ads. You're just scrolling through to see what's going on with your friends and family, and you see an ad. You might answer the thing. It takes a couple of seconds. Then you continue to scroll along and go back to whatever it was you're doing. Well, all the while, that took a matter of seconds to do that. There was very little engagement like there was, for example, with the direct mail we talked about earlier, and certainly with the live transfer where they chose to call you. So the recall rate, and when you call those leads back developed digitally, is lower, and it's likely, especially on many social platforms, that those leads are retargeted with like-kind ads from other vendors. So there seems to be a lot more competition with people who fill out digital leads with agents calling them, thus a shorter shelf life than something like a direct mail lead where there is less agents buying those and less purposeful retargeting, where in this case, for example, Facebook retargets ads and you're now in competition with other agents if they decide to fill out this additional leads as well. However, they do fill a good role at getting a lot of leads at an affordable price very quickly. Last but not least, here are high-quality self-generated leads. So these would be your referrals, people you know, your friends and family. And then one in particular I want to talk about is the seminar marketing style of self-generation of leads. These are great ways in many of the niches that are out there to develop high-quality leads simply through speaking engagements. For example, in the final expense space, we teach agents at our agency who are maybe low on financial capital to do seminar marketing at senior facilities, to do several a week. Usually you get 10 or 15 people if you follow our strategy, which turn into about half in the presentations, and typically between 1 on the low end and 4 or 5 on the high end into closed deals. And the beautiful thing about this is that the seminar marketing strategy, as well as all referrals and friends and family strategies, is there's no cost to acquire the client like with all of the aforementioned lead strategies. So for me personally, like what we do at DeFord Insurance Group, seminar marketing, friends and family marketing is a great way to get started if you don't have a war chest, a bankroll to fund your purchased leads. But it's a great way to self-generate that money and then reinvest that back into one of the lead strategies mentioned prior. So guys, that's it. That's really all there is in the insurance world when it comes to quality leads. Again, direct mail, live transfer, digital leads, and quality self-generated leads from either referrals, your social network, or some kind of seminar marketing. What should you do with these? Pick one strategy and go all into it. This is an interesting business, unlike others, where many teach you to have different fishing poles in the pond, different ways to market and kind of just differentiate. With the insurance business, in many cases, you can just do one thing and scale it and do just fine. Many of the top producers I know, for example, in final expense, all they do is final expense at a high level of leads weekly, because why fool with anything else? There's enough quality and quantity in those leads that they don't need to differentiate. And if something happened, they could and pivot to one of those other leads. So if you're interested in learning more about how leads work in joining DeFord Insurance Group, you can head over to daviddeford.com/FAQ. Just watch the video to learn more about how my agency works, to see if it's a good fit for your career goals. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.